to make the businessmen, some, not all, can import para mas mura itong baboy. But apparently, and I can understand from where the senators come from. There is also the domestic supply, which they intend to protect, and they are vehement about it because I think that they think that they are right. The problem is yung mga managers ko, mga finance, I'd like to mention Secretary Dar, Neda, the Sunny Dominguez are in really favor for para sa kanila. The managers ng departamento ko believe that it would in the end
cuts nila
magkaiba po yung component nito at saka negative 18 po ito. So magte-testing po muna tayo, Mr. President, yung 20,000. And then we'll be at the end of this month. So 500,000 din po na final back ang darating po ng April 29. At sa ngayon po, nabigyan po kami ng warning order na pagka matapos po namin yung yung legal po ng FICE.
domestic supply, which they intend to protect, and they are vehement about it because I think that they think that they are right. The problem is mga managers ko, mga finance, I'd like to mention Secretary Dar, Neda, and maybe the Sunny Dominguez are in really favor for para sa kanila. The managers ng departamento ko believe that it would in the end, total kung medyo malakas na
cuts nila, mas lalo na rin yung mga nasa aquaculture at saka sa open seas ay makadagdag dito po sa dagdag natin ng supply ng isda. Now, vegetables and fruits, harvest season na po. So, ang mga presyohan ngayon ay bumaba na and the prices are stable. Next slide po ay nagpapakita supply and demand outlook po ng taon na ito. Sa ating rice, by the end of the year, mayroon po tayong sapat na mayroon pa rin 75 days to last. At ang vegetables po, ito ay asos demand at isinama natin yung projected imports na po para makita po natin lahat. Ang vegetables ay positive 8 days to last. Ang fish, ganun din, 8 araw po. Ang pork, mayroon itong naka-projected na 400,000 nga na import natin dito under MAB Plus. 350 doon yung dati, yung pina-aprobahan ko sa kabinete, at 54,000 na yung existing MAB in quota po. So sa chicken naman ay gumagandang panahon, they are coming back to harness. at meron tayong 14 days to last. Next slide po, Mr. President. Ito po yung pork prices bago nung nag-price cap tayo nung February hanggat Abril, yung February 8 to April 8. So nakikita ninyo nung last quarter po ng last year ay pumalo ng 400, meron pa more than that, yung Kasim at Liev po. At dito sa January, nakita natin na hindi bumababa. So minabuti po natin na mayroon tayong price ceiling at maganda naman po yung epekto.
Magkaiba po yung component nito at saka negative 18 po ito. So magpe-testing po muna tayo, Mr. President, yung 20,000. And then yung yung kanyang 480 will be at the end of this month. So 100,000 din po na Sinovac ang darating po ng April 29. At sa ngayon po nabigyan po kami ng warning order na pagka matapos po namin yung yung legal po ng Pfizer
Next slide, please. So ngayon po at present, there are about 260 vaccines that are being developed all over the world. Yun pong 88, nasa clinical development na po yan. Ibig sabihin, sinusubukan na po sa tao sa mga phase 1, phase 2 studies, and some in phase 3. Next slide, please. Of those 88, meron na pong 14 na merong emergency use authorization sa buong mundo. Ang pinakamarami po talaga yung AstraZeneca, yung Oxford vaccine, 91 countries na po yan. Pangalawa po yung Pfizer, 82 countries po yan, including WHO. Pang-apat po yung Gamaleya, yung Sputnik V, 62 countries na po yan ginagamit. Pang-apat po yung Moderna. Pagkatapos po yung Janssen. And then yung Sinopharm, ito po yung may 35 countries. Meron pong Covishield, ito po yung parang AstraZeneca rin po ito na ginagawa sa India. Kaya lang sa atin po hindi pa nag-a-apply ito kasi AstraZeneca po ang nag-a-apply sa atin eh. Ganon po yung hatian yata nila sa mundo. Next slide please. And there are lesser known vaccines po that are coming up. Yung Sinovac, yan po meron dito sa atin. At yung Bharat Biotech, yung Covaxin, nag-apply din po sa atin. Pero there are some vaccines that are from China and mostly po from Russia that are also up and coming. Yung pong CanSino is now used in 5 countries. Yung pong Anhui Zhifei, ito po 2 bansa pa lamang po, isang bansa yung China. Yun pong Epivac Corona, this is also a Russian vaccine that's being used now in 2 countries. Si Sinopharm, meron pa po siyang bagong bakuna na inactivated Verocell na sa 2 bansa lang po ginagamit. At may isa pa pong Russian vaccine na bago na sa Russia pa lang ginagamit, yun pong Covivac na ginawa po ng Chumakov Center.
Ang explanation ni FDA, buhay na lang ang last
Ivermectin, mahal na Pangulo.
Sige po.
Opo, kasi nung pong Huwebes, nung nagkaroon tayo ng meeting, ay nabanggit na nyo ito. Nung Biyernes, ay nag-usap po kami ni Secretary Duque tungkol dito. At pag-iisipan namin, nung Sabado po ay nagkaroon na kami ng kasunduan, nahahanap na ng sasagawa ng clinical trial. At ngayon nga po, itong i-distribute ko pong one-page briefer ay nagsasaad dito kung sino yung pwedeng mag-lead ng clinical trial po sa ivermectin na ikukumpare po dun sa ibang standard of care na. Yung pong ginagamit na, ikukumpare siya. So ito pong napili or nakita na pwedeng magsagawa ay Manila sa Philippine General Hospital, si Dr. Eileen Wang, babae pong doktora. Si Dr. Eileen Wang, babae pong doktora. At gaya nga po ng nasabi namin, pinakamahina po 6 na buwan kasi sa clinical trial, marami po talagang pinagdadaanan. Maliban na lang kung talagang bigla pong magkaroon ng maraming magbo-volunteer, mapapabilis po. At ang plano po dito ay yung mga quarantine center na malapit sa PGH ang pagsasagawaan nito. Meron na rin pong inallocate na pondo ang DOH para dito sa clinical trials na yan. At hopefully po ay pag natapos tayo ng mas reliable estimates ng epekto ng ivermectin bilang isang antiviral agent at na makapagre-reduce po ng virus shedding sa mga mild at moderate patients. At makikita natin ang epekto ng ivermectin dun sa haba ng hospitalization ng iba. So, kagaya po nung aming eksperimento sa virgin coconut oil, nakita po namin dun sa mga mild cases, dun sa suspects and probable, na yung pong recovery period nung nag-take ng BCO ay 5 days earlier than dun sa hindi nag-take ng BCO. Kaya hindi lang naman po ito inaaral natin. Marami po tayong possible gamot o therapeutics na pwedeng makatulong sa recovery period. Katulad po nga nitong binanggit kong BCO, Virgin Coconut Oil. Ngayon po ay ginagawa namin yung clinical trials para sa mga severe cases sa PGA. Kasi tapos na kami dun sa mga mild, dun sa mga suspects and probable na may symptoms. At ganun din po, yung isang gamot sa ubo na aprobado naman ng FDA, yung Lagundi, ay kasalukuyan pong isinasagawa na rin ng trial dahil ang katwiran po namin kung mapapagaling agad yung sintomas, ay malaking ginhawa para sa pasyente. Kung maaalis agad yung ubo, yung lagnat, yung sakit na lalamunan, mas mapapabilis po ang paggaling. At ito po siguro within a month matatapos na namin yung sa Lagundi. Total naman yun po ay approved drug na sa ubo, kaya medyo madali-dali na. Yung isa po namin inuumpisahan ay isang health supplement para sa dengue, yung pong tawa-tawa. Kasi po napatunayan na nakakapag-improve din po ng recovery ng may dengue. Kaya susubukan naman sa COVID-19. Marami po kami sinusubukan. May bago po kaming inaprubahan na clinical trial. Ito po yung gagawin namin. Dali lang po. Na ang aming susubukan naman po ay isang bagong formularyo na yung tinatawag na methylprednisolone na isa pong steroid. Meron po kasing nasubukan na gamot, yung dexamethasone, pero naghahanap po tayo ng isang katulad nun para hindi tayo magka-problema sa intellectual property. Oo. So at yun nga po ang susubukan natin, may bago tayong inaprubahan, yung methylpredn na steroid. At ang nagsuggest po nito isang grupo din ng mga doktor na nakipag-usap sa medical people sa De La Salle na siya namang nagmungkahi na i-standardize ang formulation sa UP National Institutes of Health. Bukod po doon, meron tayong inaaral kamukha ng melatonin kasi nakita po nila sa Manila doctors na yung mga matitinding severe patients nagte-take sila ng melatonin. Actually, pampatulog po yun eh. Pero nakakabuti po daw, kaya inaprubahan din po namin ang clinical trial sa melatonin at ongoing din. Kaya marami po tayong sinusubukan. Hindi man bakuna ay makakapagpabilis po sa recovery kung sakali. At meron kami magandang balita. Mahal na Pangulo, natatandaan nyo dati, sabi, bibigyan nyo na reward yung makaka-develop ng local ventilators. At kami po ay nagsuporta ng at least 4 na grupo po. 3 yung talagang fully supported namin. At ngayon po, yung isa, actually babanggitin ko na kung aling grupo, yung pong grupo ng Technological Institute of the Philippines, TIP, ay nakabuo na po ng local ventilator. Nakapasa na rin sa third-party certification, kaya ang susunod pong hakbang ay subukan na sa ospital. At yun po ay, siyempre, kailangan mag-produce kami ng mas marami para masubukan na yung local ventilator. Yun din pong Don Bosco ay meron din ginagawa, pero mas nauna yung ano tawag dito, yung TIP. At yung meron pang dalawa, yung isa naman ay parang gumawa lang sila ng isang version nung na-develop na dati na local ventilator para sa mga bata. So ngayon, inireconfigure nila para maging pwede na sa matanda. At yun po ang mga developments. Of course, may pagmamalaki po natin, mahal na Pangulo, na yung ating PCR test ay isa tayo po sa nagkaroon ng approved PCR diagnostic kit dito sa bahagi ng Asia na ito. At yan nga po ay nag-umpisa tayo ng lockdown March. April 3 po, approved na ng FDA yung diagnostic kit na yon ng PCR. na ginawa din ng research sa UP Manila. At bukod doon, yung disease modeler na ginagamit natin sa IATF, yun naman po ay sinuportahan namin, gawa po ng mga taga-Ateneo at ng Department of Health at UP Manila. So marami naman po itong nagawa rin natin at marami pa tayong aasahan na sana pagkatapos na itong mga trials na ito ay sa COVID-19.
Kay Bebot, value, anong nangyari na sa OFW natin?
Thank you, Mr. President, fellow cabinet members, and welcome back, Sec Ed. Mr. President, as of 2020, there are 8,874,472 Filipinos living and working overseas. Out of this, Mr. President, meron tayong 3,497,261 who are documented. Meron ding undocumented, Mr. President, and we have about 1,580,684. Then we have the so-called permanent migrants. Ito yung wala ng planong umuwi. They are about 3,797,500. Now, Mr. President, out of the 3,497,261, 19% were displaced because of COVID-19. 19%, that is about 647,827. They were displaced, meaning they lost their job, or even if they did not lose their job, they could not earn a living because they were prevented from COVID-19. Hindi sila makapasok, Mr. President. Dito sa 19% na displaced, Mr. President, we were able to repatriate. With your generosity, Mr. President, you gave us 5 billion for the repatriation expense. So we were able to repatriate 500, as of today, Mr. President, 519,566 overseas Filipino workers. Yung iba, Mr. President, the remainder of the 647, about 49,000 pa ang still in the process of repatriation. Pero merong mga 78,519 who opted to stay on site. Hindi sa ayaw nilang umuwi because many of them, Mr. President, got vaccinated. Pinabakunahan sila, lalo-lalo sa Middle East. So with yung vaccination nila, yung opportunity for reemployment was very high, so they opted to stay. Hindi na sila uuwi. So anyway, Mr. President, doon naman sa mga OFWs na TED na hindi naman nawalan ng trabaho, although delikado yung question, yung kanilang kalagayan, they still opted to remain where they are, especially our OFWs in Europe, in Rome, in Madrid, in UK, Germany, etc., Mr. President. Now, a very sad note, though, Mr. President, is that of the more than 3 million documented OFWs, 19,148 OFWs were infected with COVID, and sad to say, 950 of them died. Ang maganda namang balita, Mr. President, is that of the 19,000, 10,466 who were infected have fully recovered. Excuse me, Mr. President. Now, Mr. President, meron tayong mga programa para sa mga OFWs. We call this the program of AKAP. This is the abot kamay sa pagtulong sa mga OFW. And under this program, we gave them a assistance of $200 on-site kapag nandun pa sila. Pero kung na-repatriate na sila, Mr. President, binibigay natin sa kanila yung peso equivalent of 10,000 pesos. So, malaki-laki ang nabigyan ninyo sa mga OFW, Mr. President, and they appreciate it very much. Now, let's go to the program of OWA, Mr. President. Before I go to that, Mr. President, I would just want to mention that under Bayanihan 1, Mr. President, we were able to provide assistance under the ACA program to 343,743 OFWs, and it costs us $3,499,000,000. Now, under Bayanihan 2, Mr. President, we were able to provide assistance to 161,812,000, and it cost us $1,629,000,000, or a total of $5,128,000,000, Mr. President. Now, let's go to OFW, Mr. President. Ang pinakamalaking problema ng OFW, ang OWA, Mr. President, ay yung pagpapauwi ng ating mga OFW. And in order to bring home, repatriate our OFWs, which includes airfare, seafare, landfare, quarantine accommodation, food, and financial assistance, Mr. President, our OWA spent 11,466,874,371.
Ngayon, may gusto lang akong tanungin dito kay kay Mark. Was it Secretary Villar who was next in deck? Can you give us the report mid-COVID? This is a sounding board for the community so that they would know what we are doing. Mark, you can proceed.
Maraming salamat po, sir, Mr. President. At ngayon po, magbibigay po ako ng update sa ating Build program. At para makita din ng taong bayan na tuloy-tuloy po ang pagtatrabaho po ng gobyerno at marami po tayong magagandang balita sa infrastructure. So una po, ito po yung mga project accomplishments natin. Gusto ko lang ipakita, i-compare ang project accomplishments from two similar time periods. So from 2011 to 2015 and 2016 to 2020. So makikita po, kalaki po ang difference sa project accomplishments since the start of your term, Mr. President. Halos times 3 po yung project accomplishments under the Build and under your vision. Next slide. In other terms, put in other terms and not just in terms of peso value, ito po yung na-accomplish natin from July 2016 to December 2020, which is 10,376 flood mitigation structures completed, 26,494 kilometers of road constructed, maintained, widened, upgraded, and rehabilitated, and 5,555 bridges also constructed, widened, upgraded, and rehabilitated. Next slide. Also, 144,925 classrooms were built under this administration. Also, 2,036 school workshop buildings and other school facilities. At meron din po tayong 187 evacuation centers. Ito master plan ninyo para magkaroon ng evacuation centers po sa lahat ng regions. So next slide please. So as you can see, nakakalat po ang mga evacuation centers throughout the country. There are 187 completed, which is marked by the red, at yung 130 na yellow are still ongoing but will be completed soon. Halos lahat po ng evacuation centers ngayon ay ginagamit para sa COVID quarantine. So napakalaking bagay at napapakinabangan po at itong mga regional evacuation centers na pinagawa niyo po sa buong bansa. Next slide, please. And I just want to give some updates on yung mga recently completed major projects. Next slide. Una po, kaka-open lang itong Ordineta City Bypass Road. Ito po ay 7.17 kilometers sa total cost of 2.2 billion. Napakalaking bagay dahil para sa mga papunta sa north, na decongest ang Dang Maharlika, pwede nyo po pass yung Ordineta, which is malaking traffic usually pa north po tayo at ginagamit natin ang Dang Maharlika. So yun, that's one of the accomplishments this year. Next slide. Ito po, sa Bulacan, ito po ay also a diversion road, also bypassing Daang Maharlika. So sa ating mga kababayan sa Bulacan, ito no, malaking bagay sa traffic. Ito po ay 99.6 kilometers at meron din pong bike lane. So almost from 1 hour, magiging 30 minutes na lang ang travel time. Sa mga taga Bulacan, pwede nyo para makapunta kayo sa NLEX. So, yun, completed na po ang Pulilan-Baliwag Diversion Road sa Bulacan. Next slide, please. Ito po, itong TPLEX, this was opened last year. Ito kasama po sa Spine Expressway Network at umabot na po sa Rosario yung TPLEX. So para sa mga papunta sa Baguio, napakabilis na ang biyahe ngayon. And for travel time between Tarlac and La Union from 3.5 naging 1 hour at 20,000 a day ang nakikinabang po dito sa opening ng TPLEX hanggang Rosario. So pag papunta tayo sa north, ito malaking bagay. So this has been opened already, yung TPLEX. Next slide please. Ito po, pumunta po kayo sa inauguration itong NLEX Harbor Link and pati yung extension. So ito, from yung travel time from 60 minutes dati, from the port area to NLEX, dati 60 minutes, naging 10 minutes na lang. And based on our numbers, almost 30,000 a day ang gumagamit po ng Harbor Link. At malaking bagay dahil yung mga trucks dito na dumadaan, hindi na masyadong traffic sa area at nakaluwag din sa Metro Manila, lalo na po ang EDSA. So this is also finished and delivered already. Next please. Next slide. At ito po, most recently, ang Metro Manila Skyway Stage 3. Ito po ay bahagi po ng EDSA Decongestion Program ng gobyerno, 18.83 kilometer elevated expressway. So as of now, it's already in use. And by next week po, i-inspect na po yung Nagtahan ramp exit. So very soon, magagamit na po yung mga exits, additional exits ng Makati 3. And based on our reports, nung nag-open po ang Skyway Stage 3, yung dating average time sa EDSA na 16 kilometers per hour, naging 28 kilometers per hour ang speed. Kaya malaking bagay talaga. And we're on track, sir, para sa goal natin na ibalik ang EDSA sa original capacity. Already 70,000 cars a day are passing through Skyway Stage 3, and I will show some makakabawas pa sa traffic sa Metro Manila at sa EDSA. So dito po, ito yung mga ongoing. Ito, yung kanina po, yun yung mga delivered. Ito po yung i-deliver. Yung pong tapos na, ito po yung i-deliver natin. And hopefully, sir, some of these, baka pwede po kayong umattend sa inauguration this year. So these are projects for this year. Next slide. Ito ang San Fernando Bypass. Ngayon po, tapos na yung TPLX hanggang Rosario. So para sa mga hindi pupunta sa Baguio at diretso pa sa Ilocos, ito malaking bagay, makakabawas sa traffic dahil di na kayo matatraffic sa San Fernando. So this is a major bypass project na makakatulong sa travel from north to south, which ang goal po natin, sir, is from 20 hours, magiging 9 hours na lang from Region 5 Bicol to Ilocos. So ito, bahagi po ng master plan, yung San Fernando Bypass. And ito po, one of the largest, ito po, isa po sa mga flagship projects natin that will be delivered this year, a 30-kilometer 4-lane expressway from Tarlac to Cabanatuan City. Ang travel time from 70 minutes dati, magiging 20 minutes na lang. It's a 14 billion peso project. It's practically complete, 93%. It will be finished by this year. It's the first expressway, one of the biggest, largest expressways built by government. So hindi po ito PPP at libre po sa ating mga kababayan. Kaya magandang balita po sa ating mga kababayan sa Central Luzon, lalo na yung mga pupunta po sa yung taga Pangasinan at yung mga pupunta po sa Region 2. This will really malaking bagay para sa ating agriculture, ang economy, po sa inauguration ng at ito rin po, patapos na rin po yung Artillery Road Bypass sa Bulacan. Sa Plaridel, dati po 2 lanes, ngayon 4 lanes na siya. It's a major project also and benefits 15,000 commuters per day. And in Bulacan, ang average travel time magbabawasan po from 69 to 24 minutes from San Rafael to Balagtas. So it's a widening of 22-kilometer road. Ito po, tapos na rin po, halos malapit na po para sa mga ating mga kababayan sa Quezon, yung Sariaya Bypass Road. Para sa mga pa-south naman, ito po ay 7.42 kilometers. And it will reduce the traffic sa Dang Maharlika papunta po sa Quezon. So tapos na po, 97% complete and will be delivered this year. Also, para sa ating mga kababayan sa Batangas, ito po isang bagong diversion road, also a billion peso project na almost completed to be delivered this year. It's a 4-lane kilometer road from Batangas to Bawan at Mabini. So reduced from 2 hours to 30 minutes ang travel time. Next slide, please. Ito, isa pa itong project, also local road, so hindi po siya PPP, Laguna, Quezon, connecting the provinces of Lacuna and Quezon. Tapos na po yung first portion, it's 20.8 kilometers, and when completed, it will also reduce travel time by 25 to 40 minutes from Laguna to Quezon. Next slide, please. Ito po, halos tapos na rin po yung Sorsogon City Coastal Bypass Road. Ito na po yung picture ng road. It's a 5.66 kilometer coastal road. And the completion will be reduced travel time by as much as 43 minutes going to Sorsogon. So hindi na kailangan duman pa sa city. Po ang traffic sa Sorsogon. Next slide, please. Ito po, yung BGC Ortigas Center Link Roads. Malaking bahagi po ng sa decongestion. Pag natapos po ito, mako-connect po ang Taguig at Makati sa Pasig City by 12 minutes. So practically this is complete. Pwede nang gamitin po by June. So nakikita nyo naman po sa picture, halos tapos na po yung bridge. Pag natapos po ito, 30,000 cars a day mawawala po sa Guadalupe section ng EDSA. So lalong mag-improve po ang traffic situation natin. Next po yung Binondo Intramuros Bridge, 60% complete. And ito po yung China Grant Project. It's a 30,000 vehicles per day ang gagamit po dito. Napaka-iconic, napakaganda ng arco ng bridge and to symbolize our friendship with China. So this will also be delivered at the fourth quarter of this year. Next slide, please. Isa pa itong bahagi ng EDSA decongestion, yung Estrella-Pantaleon Bridge connecting Mandaluyong to Makati. Makakabawas din po sa EDSA. So it's a 4-lane bridge across Pasig River. And again, when it's finished, at least 10 to 15,000 cars a day ang mawawala po sa EDSA. So almost complete, also targeted by second quarter this year. At hindi po tayo tapos sa EDSA decongestion. Ito po ang final blow sa traffic sa EDSA. Malaki ng improvement, pero pag natapos po itong connector, lalo po mag-improve ang traffic sa EDSA dahil i-connect po yung Skyway passing through Manila going to connect to the Harbor Link. So ang kagandahan po ng project ay ito po ay para sa mga trucks na papunta south or papuntang north, pwede po nilang gamitin yung connector road. And they no longer have to pass through the thoroughfares of Metro Manila. Pagkatapos po ito, babalik ng EDSA capacity and even less. So we'll be delivering a large portion of the connector by this year. Isa pa itong Alabang Sukat extension, also to be delivered by this year. In fact, the northbound lane was just opened. So magagamit na po at mas mahaba na po ang extension. So yung mga galing po sa Laguna at Cavite, pwede nilang gamitin itong Skyway ramp. So open na po but completely finished by this year. Pati itong South Link, substantially completed by this year. Natapos po yung malaking portion, yung tawid po. So the whole project will connect Cavitex to C5. So mababawasan ng traffic sa EDSA and also it will be a connection from Cavite to Taguig. Malapit na pong matapos. In fact, portions are already open. Isa pa yung Cavite-Laguna Expressway. So open na siya, open na po, tapos na po yung Laguna section and by the second quarter, by June sir, we will open the Cavite section going to Silang. So may portion na bubuksan sa June and abangan na lang natin. It will connect Cavite to Laguna, SLEX to Cavitex. So magkakaroon ng connectivity from SLEX, pwede po kayo dumiretso sa Cavitex. Hindi lang po tayo sa mga kalsada, meron din po tayo mga flood risk projects. Ito po sa Cavite para sa ating mga industrial areas, kakaroon ng flood management program. Ito rin ang tatapusin namin this year. May malaking retarding basin sa may Imus. Next slide please. Sa Region 8 po sir, ito talagang napakalaking bagay. 11 kilometers Samar Pacific Coastal Road. The largest project implemented in the northern Samar area. Ito po hindi matapos-tapos dati dahil sa mga peace and order issues. Marami pong mga NPA po sa area. Pero dahil sa tulong ng AFP, natapos na rin po ang project and we're ready to deliver it by this year. Napakalaking bagay dahil marami pong mga poor communities doon at makakatulong talaga sa pag-angat ng ekonomiya. And of course, sa Davao City Coastal Road, tapos na po yung first 3 kilometers hanggang Talomo and we'll continue to construct the bridge. Pero the first segment, the first 3 kilometers is finished. The next, the full 7 kilometers of the segment, hopefully by the end of the year, but possibly early next year also. Ito po, tapos na rin po 1 billion peso project for the support and rehabilitation of Marawi City and surrounding areas. Ito po ay grant na galing sa JAB, mga contract packages including for the road sections with a total length of 18 kilometers. So tapos na po ito at ready na po anytime we can pwede pong i-inaugurate. Next slide please. Pati po sa flood sa Cagayan de Oro po, makikita nyo po itong flood control system na kinonstruct po natin para ma-protectionan ang ating mga taga Cagayan de Oro from the floods from the river. So ito po ay also slated by this year's significant accomplishment. Next slide please. So ang last portion po sir, ito po ay mga quarantine facilities. Nais ko lang magbigay ng update sa ating mga quarantine facilities. Ang na-accomplish po natin ngayon is 653 facilities with 24,117 bed capacities. And by next month, our target is to have 816 with 27,262 bed capacity. Next slide, please. Ito po yung nagawa na po ng DPWH, yung breakdown. As you can see, marami po sa NCR dahil ito po malaki po yung occupancy rate sa NCR. Ang namo-monitor po namin at this point is 68% capacity. So dito kami medyo naka-focus ng konti para madagdagan po ang ating capacity sa NCR, lalo na po sa mga modular facilities, modular hospital facilities, of which we already constructed 148. And we'll have another 104. And by next month, madadagdagan po ng 310 ICU bed capacity. Mabilis lang po, 45 days po ang target namin sa pagtatayo ng isang modular hospital. Next slide, please. Ito isang example ng mga pictures ng mga nagawa na natin. Ito yung standalone sa Jokno Boulevard sa tapat ng Senate at yung iba po yung mga mega quarantine facilities. Next slide, please. Ito po yung mga off-site dormitories na nagawa rin natin. Ito po yung sa Quezon Memorial Circle para sa ating mga frontliners. Para hindi na sila lalayo. Yung iba kasi galing po sa probinsya, kailangan nila ng dormitories. So yung dormitories nila kompleto. May kitchen, may entertainment center, may aircon. At dito po nag-stay yung mga frontliners po natin. Next slide please. And of course, our modular facilities, yung binanggit ko po kanina, our target is 24 modular hospitals with 547 bed capacity. Natapos na po yung Quezon Institute at operational na po. At makikita nyo po sa pictures na meron pong mga features katulad ng negative pressure, sariling oxygen supply, and individual aircon, individual rooms, individual bathrooms. So ito po yung tinatayo namin ngayon at 45 days ang construction time, and our target is to have 547 bed capacities within the next month and a half. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yun po, sir. And of course, on our efforts sa COVID. Kahit na may COVID, tuloy-tuloy po ang pagde-deliver natin ng projects, and we will continue to work hard to deliver on our promise. Maraming salamat po, sir, at good evening.
Mark, you are really amazing. So with that, wala naman tayong sigurong kapag report naman tayo, the others, okay lang. Except for itong, sabi nga ni Secretary Roque, the hottest issues are West Philippine Sea, Ayuda, and what's the other one?
COVID.
Itong COVID. Oh, well. Yung West Philippine Sea, totoo niyan, pabalik-balik tayo. Ako gusto ko, tinanong ko nga si Secretary Lorenzana, na pwede ba tayong pumunta doon, papasok tayo sa mga Spratly Island ng barko natin. Of course, it should be a Coast Guard. We do not send gray ships to warships na para ipakita lang natin sa top Pilipino na baski ng ilang balik natin doon, wala talagang mangyari because we are not in the possession of the sea. Sa kanila eh.
Mr. President, wala namang balakid yung ating pagpunta doon, kahit nga yung Navy ships natin, panayang punta sa Pag-asa Island at magpatrolya doon. Yung ating mga Coast Guard ships, wala din, Mr. President, ang patrolya nila dyan sa mga areas na marami tayong fishermen. And pati na yung Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources na barko, nandyan na rin. Nagpapalit-palit lang sila, Mr. President, dahil limitado yung mga barko natin. But we can, our ships can go there. In fact, regularly yung ating mga barko dyan sa Palawan ay nagre-resupply sa ating mga islands dyan sa Kalayaan Island Group. So wala pong ano, pati yung ating mga fishermen ay libre naman sila makapangisda na hindi sila ginugulo ng mga Chinese.
Kaya nga, ang China, kung hanggang dyan lang, wag ka lang magulo. You claim that even if you go there and claim, wala rin mangyari kasi kanila talaga para sa isip nila kanila. Even if I go there, I said with Secretary Lorenzana and sail there and ask questions, wala mangyari. Sasagutin ka lang. But, you know, the issue of the West Philippine Sea remains to be a question forever. Until such time that, you know, we can take it back. Ang akin yan is walang iba, gera lang. If we promote a war against China and America, ito mamadalian. Pero at what cost to us? Ayan ang problema. Yan talaga ang problema. But we can retake it only by force. There is no way that we can get back the tawag nilang Philippine Sea without any bloodshed. Yan talaga ang totoo. Baski na anong sabihin ng mga military, may iba dyan, alam ko na na walang ginawa. You know the cost of war. And if we go there, and really to find out and to assert jurisdiction, it would be bloody. It will result in a violence that we cannot maybe win. Ang problema nito, we have always, sided with America in so many issues, including this one. Pero kung sabihin mo that America will go to war because of the Philippine Sea, tapos tayo ang mag-umpisa. Ang sa doon that alam mo doon sa mutual, I don't know if I'm right, only if we are being attacked and assaulted.
Yes.
It is not, does not include a war that is initiated by us.
Yes. Correct.
So, yung may mga, alam ko may mga military na may nagre-retire. Ano bang gusto ninyo? Ako, I am ready. Ay, anak ng waiting. If just a matter of going there and looking for trouble and maybe violence, okay sa akin. But I said, at what cost would that be to the country? Wala. Hindi tayo pwedeng pumunta doon magipag-away for the simple reason that part in the RPUS states that only when we are being assaulted or being there in a war, not of our own making. So yan ang gusto kong yan. Anong gusto ninyo? Ito naman si Carpio. Daldal ng daldal. Ano bang gusto mo? Sige ka punta doon sa... Do you think China will obey the United Nations? I'll ask you a question. If the United Nations will ask China to surrender because of that award given to us, ibibigay ba ng China yan? Ano ang problema? Can the United Nations, China? And do you think China will just give it freely because of the United Nations demand? Yan ang hindi ko maintindihan kay Carpio. He's a dreamer. And besides, yung amo niya, it started the occupation of constructive, how would you call it in the international parlance? The constructive occupation of China happened during the Aquino administration. May isang barko doon, nagpadala tayo. There was a standoff. A standoff, it was maybe going to a violent stage. Alam mo, ang nagpaalay sa atin ang Amerika. Ang usapan, retreat, ang China mag-retreat. Ang ginawa ng China, hindi nag-retreat, ang Pilipinas ang nag-retreat. Ang pagador noon si Del Rosario. Yan, tandaan mo yan, Carpio. Sige ka daldal. The constructive occupation was completed. It was a notice to the world na nung hindi sila umalis, tayo ang umalis. Ibig sabihin, amin to, kaya ka umalis. Itong si Carpadaldal, si Dreamer, I'll give you 100 years. You can never get something there baski isang basong tubig sa China. Tapos sige kayo intriga sa Pilipino, sige kayo intriga. Sabi ko nga, ano bang gusto ninyo? Sige. Tell me what to do except yung mga papel-papel ninyo. Walang kakwenta na just to create whatever it is. Maraming daldal. Wala ka naman talaga magawa. I said, the constructive occupation of the West Philippine Sea was completed by the singular act of China not retreating. Yan sa international law, ganun yan. Ikaw yung umalis, ibig sabihin, hindi iyo. At bakit umalis? Itong si Secretary Albert, usap ng Amerikano, takot ng gira. Takot na, sana hinayaan na lang nila. Ang totoo niya, sus Maria, ayoko lang magyabang. Kung mangyari uli yan, ako, I'm putting China to, I do not want any quarrel. But in a situation like that, if repeated in my administration, I think there will going to be a, taka lang, hindi ako walis. At kung may barko ako dyan ngayon, yung Coast Guard nandyan, hindi rin ako mag-alis. I will not. Marami, sabi ng Secretary Lorenzana, mga resupply natin, yung mga Coast Guard natin, if they are driven away, I would tell them to stay put. I am addressing myself to the Chinese government. We want to remain friends. We want to share whatever it is. Sinabi ko naman sa inyo sa Chinese government, I'm not so much interested now in fishing. I don't think there's enough fish really to worry about. But when we start to mine, when we start to get whatever it is in the bowels of the China Sea, sa ating oil, dyan na ako. Then but by that time, I will send my ships there. I will send my gray ships there to state a claim. Yan masiguro ninyo. Pag kinuha na yung oil, kung anong mga nickel dyan, and precious stones, that would be the time, because